Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, and I want to say Shalom to Akim Nakwat out there pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. This one's titled, Be Mindful of Not Taking on a Prideful Persona. Right? Be mindful of not taking on a prideful persona. And this is of course, a lesson dealing with, pride and the dangers of it. So you gotta, again, as the title says, be mindful, okay? Be careful, okay? You don't want to see yourself falling into a path of pride where you start, exalting yourself and bigging yourself up and thinking, oh, I'm great, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, right? Because at the end of the day, while we all might have individual gifts or, certain qualities about us, you might be super pretty or super handsome, or you might be able to write songs really well, or, might be able to do art really well, or hell, you could do crazy tricks on a bike, or you're an excellent driver, whatever it happens to be, or you dress real good or whatever, right? Or even about, having money. It's not something to be prideful about, because those are situations that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai has allowed you to be in. All right, those are the lot that he's allowed you to be in. All right, he made you an artist. All right, he made you a fashion designer or whatever. Right, if you can put together a cool outfit, if you can sew together your own clothes or whatever, right, or whatever you happen to be, whatever skill it happens to be, right. Even like you look at like people out in the world, right. There are people that even are Edomite. Now I don't know if he's an Edomite. He could be an Edomite. He could be not. I lean more probably towards Edomite. But you look at Tony Hawk, right, one of the best skaters. Even he, has nothing to be prideful of, because even him being an Edomite now, the Lord's not dealing with them, but he did make their qualities, all right? So the fact that Tony Hawk can even be a good skater is because that's what the Most High had planned for him to be, was this guy that did that, right? And that was his lot, all right? And that's what he's in, and so he can't be prideful. And, you get a lot of these guys that are in that way that, I trained, I did this, I'm self-made, I did this is me, and you got these people that are just prideful, not realizing that the Lord controls everything. For a while back, I was actually talking to my wife about this Reddit post, and it's not about a skill or a quality that this woman had, but she said, I just beat cancer, and then someone said, praise to God, or all praise to God, and she said, no, fuck that, I did this myself. And then everyone in the comments was exalting her, like, yeah, you girl, and me and my wife were talking about it, and we both came to the same conclusion that, yeah, that cancer's going to come back, and this time it's going to take your ass out, because she's being prideful. You didn't do that yourself, all right? The Most High, had other things in store for you, all right? And that might have been one of the things that was in store for you, to set an example as pride. Now, if I could ever find that story, I'd like to go back in the next however many months, or even years if we have it. Hopefully not, but and see if somehow the account just stopped posting all of a sudden, But yeah, so let's go and get Romans 12:3, and it reads, "For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you," and this means women too, just because it says man doesn't mean, not women apply as well. There's some scriptures that apply only to men when it's saying men, but when it says, to every man, all right, not to think highly, that's also, that doesn't mean because you're a woman you can be prideful. "For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly." Soberly means to be unhindered, all right, straightly, clearly, all right, thinking clearly, all right, thinking rightly, right, "according as Yahweh hath dealt to every man the measure of faith." So, thinking, you're something when you're not. As a matter of fact, we're going to go and get that scripture right now, because it's a perfect segue. Galatians 6:3. Galatians 6:3. It says, it says, "For if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself." And so that correlates perfectly with Romans 12:3, dealing with not thinking higher of yourself. If you think, if in Romans 12:3, going back into Galatians 6:3, if Romans 12:3, you think higher of yourself, then Galatians 6:3, you're deceiving yourself, right? Those go hand in hand together when you get them like that. So if you are thinking of yourself more highly than you ought to think, then guess what? You're deceiving yourself. Okay, you're deceiving yourself because you're not that man. You're not that dude, fool. You're not that man, homie. That ain't you, right? So you're really deceiving yourself thinking that, oh, I'm the greatest artist. No, the fuck you are not. No, you're not. No, you're not. Even the people, oh, I'm big and bad in the boxing. There's always, that saying. Every kid, I think, grew up hearing that saying. The dad or mom, usually dad, would tell you, say, you might think you're tough, but you'll always find someone that's tougher than you. All right? So don't try to act like Billy Badass, because one day you'll meet your match. All right? And guess what? There is always someone tougher than you. Even if there's no one tougher than you on the world, you're the toughest man in the world. Well, guess what? Yahweh is stronger than you. So you're still not the strongest person that ever existed ever. All right? So, and guess what? You might be the strongest man in the world, but guess what? Muscle don't stop bullets. Right? You could be the strongest guy in the world. You piss someone off. Oh, I'm going to beat him up. I'm the strongest man in the world. Guess what? Bop, bop. You ain't strongest than 2 9mm bullets sliding right through you. So that's something you got to be wary of, man. You got to be smart, because if you ain't, it's your ass, man. So let me go ahead and get Galatians 6:3 here in the Good News Translation, see what that happens to say. It says, if someone thinks he or she is somebody when really they are nobody, they are only deceiving themselves. There's another scripture that goes on to say, pride is hateful before the Most High and man, right? And you brothers, you can put it up if you want. Which goes to show you that not only does the Most High hate it, men hate it. Nobody wants to be around a proud guy. The boss at my work, he calls himself a recovering narcissist. Yet, every time you hear him talk or you really pay attention, you see narcissistic traits, go through. I was actually looking at some type of article or post recently that was talking about traits of narcissism, and a couple of the ones that he had popped up. One of them is always blaming someone else instead of taking the blame yourself. And he does that a lot. There's been things that have happened at my job where he'll be like, oh, the other management should have been on top of this, or oh, I need to train management better. You need to train management better. You never trained any of us, all right? You never trained any of us on that situation. Oh, you guys should have known better. You never trained any of us on that. And then all of a sudden now he has a new page in his manager documentation where to do this thing because you fucked up, all right? You fucked up because you didn't put that out, all right? And he's done it several times. All right, and that shows you, that's a prideful thing. He can't take I was wrong. All right, no, because I would never do that. No, that's because nah, man. You're a narcissist. You're not a recovering narcissist. You're just a narcissist. Okay, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're just a narcissist. So, and he's not deceiving anybody. He damn sure didn't deceive me, and that's the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. He damn sure didn't deceive me. I see right through his ass. I know what you're doing. He'll fuck up something and blame it on someone else. Fuck up something, blame it on someone else. Right? Look, if I fuck something up, I fuck something up, man. That's it. I can't really, damn, my bad. Yeah, I did it. Shit. Oops. Right? And, the damn thing is, and when you get in this truth, that's the one thing you got to realize, you might be punished for certain things that you're being truthful on. There's certain things that you can, yiquab your way out, but you don't want to just lie, especially when they know, because it's just going to make you look like a liar. And that's one way I always try to stay at my job is, look, I might be a lot of things. You might say what you want about me, but I am not a liar. All right. If I fucked up, I fucked up. Right. And the thing is, yeah, you might be punished more harshly than someone that lies about it. But guess what? You'll have a renown of not being a liar. All right. And you're more likely to be, the Most High will deal with them accordingly. All right. You might have more leniency because it's like, hey, man, at least at least you didn't lie about it. I appreciate you not lying about it because that would have been even worse. Right. You'd be in situations like that, like with the police. All right. Not that you should be even dealing with the police because you probably did something if you're talking to them. But with police, yes, you might get in trouble if you admit to something that you did. Did you run that red light? Yes, sir, I did. But you'll get in even more trouble if you try to lie about it and they have proof that you lied about it, right? And I know you don't want to get in trouble, but hey, it's either you admit you get in a little bit of trouble, or you try to lie and you still get in trouble, but just a lot more, right? So, and again, and the Bible talks about not lying, right? And that doesn't mean, sometimes you will have to, quote unquote, as the world say, lie, all right? If you have a coworker that says, well, you hate white people or something, you're going to have to say, no, I don't hate white people. Well, technically, that's not a lie, all right? Because we don't hate white people. We hate Edomites, all right? But, you might have certain situations where you might have to, to the world, quote unquote, lie. That's just yikwabbing your way, all right? Being Jake, all right? Have to wiggle your way out of a situation because it's not a good situation to be in. That doesn't mean lying just to lie your ass off, right? And it should be used sparingly, all right? And only for, a very serious situation, right? Something got heard that was not supposed to be heard. Did you hear about this? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, all right. Just checking. Right? Certain times you might have to do something like that. If some serious shit's going around and you had no business hearing it, and you might have heard something slip, you might have to say, no, I didn't hear anything. I don't know. What was I supposed to hear? Who said it? Right? And play it off. Smooth. Okay? You might have to do that sometimes. But it's not something you go around lying, I got a Mercedes and and you'll know when the time you have to, yikwab your way out of a situation. So that's not what's talking about when not lying. Okay, sometimes you might have to, as they would call it, a white lie. All right, you have to, that's just being circumspect. If you know it could cause a big issue, you might want to say, I didn't hear that, I didn't see it, or however it goes, right? So, yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it there. I could have time to grab one more, but I think I'm gonna leave it there so I have more stuff to grab when I get back, because I got to head in here anyway. I got one more minute anyway. So yeah, man, I'm gonna leave it off there. Lord willing, I'll be back to finish it up. But don't be prideful, all right? Don't be prideful. So I'll be back in just a minute. Until then, Lord willing, shalom. All right, shalom. We're back. So let's continue on. I'm gonna go ahead and grab Proverbs 27:2. As I wanted to do before I hopped out, but in lieu of time, I just said I'll save it until I come back. It gives me a little bit more to read in the second half as well. So let's go and get Proverbs 27:2. Got to hop back over to the King James Version here. Although I probably will go ahead and get that in the King James as well, the Good News Translation, Slakia, as well. So Proverbs 27:2. Here's another thing, right? If you're so great, all right, first of all, any greatness that you would even have, all right, would all be, again, through Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. If you could do something so spectacular, so great, let someone else tell you that you can do it so great, all right? If you're so great at it, you shouldn't have to say, oh, I'm so great at it, I'm so great at it, right? For example, take Apostle Dahar. He doesn't say, oh, I'm so good at, breaking down Bible scriptures and remembering these Bible verses right off the top of my head. But other brothers and elders and even apostles will say it, all right? So he doesn't have to esteem himself, all right? And he doesn't. So if you're so great at something, you shouldn't have to say, I'm so great at it. Other people will let it be known that you're good at it. I actually got to get up from verse 1. As a matter of fact, I'm going to highlight these because for some reason they're not highlighted. But yeah, I'll go up to verse 1 actually. So Proverbs 27, starting with verse 1, it says, boast not thyself of tomorrow, for thou knowest not what a day may bring forth. Let another man praise thee, and not thine own mouth, a stranger, and not thine own lips. So there you go. Let's go ahead and get that in the Good News Translation as well. And what does that happen to say? It says, never boast about tomorrow. You don't know what will happen between now and then. And again, that's the other reason, that's why we say, Lord willing. Okay, because you never know what could happen. You never know what could happen. We say, oh, Lord willing, I'm going to do this tomorrow, or Lord willing, when I get home, or Lord willing, when I get to work, or Lord willing, always Lord willing, all right? If the Lord wills it to be so, that's a scripture as well. Let me go and get that. Open Vivaldi. right here. James 4 and 15. I'm going to try to get a drink, and as soon as I get it open, it's going to load. All right, so I'm going to go one back. It says, James 4 and 14. It says, whereas ye know not what shall be on the morrow, for what is your life? It is even a vapor that appeareth for a little time, and then vanisheth away. For that ye ought to say, if the Lord will, we shall live and do this or do that. There you go. So if the Lord wills, like it says, do this or do that. So if the Lord wills, I'm going to go home. If the Lord wills, I'm going to go and grab some food. If the Lord wills, I'm going to run to work real quick. If the Lord wills, I'll get off early. If the Lord wills, I'll meet up with the brother later. If the Lord wills, I'll hear back from this person, right? So it should always be, if the Lord wills it to be so. If it's in the Lord's will, all right, perhaps I'll do this thing. So, and then verse 2, it says, Proverbs 27 and verse 2 says, let other people praise you, even strangers. Never do it yourself. All right? Never do it yourself. So, and that means, and again, not going overboard with that either. If someone says, oh, can you paint my house? You can be like, yeah, I can paint your house. Oh, are you good? I think I'm pretty decent at it. All right? Of course, I have a humble opinion, but you can't say, oh, I'd prefer not to say, all right, because then they're probably not going to hire you, right, if you're painting houses or doing some type of construction workers. Are you good? I'd say I'm pretty decent at it, I'm not going to, be boastful, but, yeah, I can get the job done, right? So, but a lot of these people, again, they talk about how they're so good at this, I'm so good at that, I'm so good at this, oh, I'm so good, I'm the best ever at this, oh, no one can do this better than me, right? And nobody likes that. Again, as I mentioned that scripture earlier, pride is hateful before the Most High and man, right? So, and that's the homework, right? You can go and look that up. Roughly paraphrasing, of course. That's the homework. You can go and look that one up. So, nobody likes someone who's proud. Nobody likes someone who's boastful, okay? That's always talking about how good they are at something, and nobody wants it. And a lot of these people in this world, a lot of them are prideful, whether it's women with their looks, men with their looks, or intelligence, or, a number of other things that they happen to be super proud about, right? And there's no reason for it. So I'm going to go ahead and get Proverbs 16 and 18. We're approaching the end of the lesson here. Proverbs 16 and 18 reads, pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Better it is to be of a humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud. So, there you go. What happens if you want to be proud? If you want to keep being prideful, then what's going to happen? Well, being pride goes before a destruction, a great destruction, all right? So, and a haughty spirit before a fall, all right? Haughty means, proud and rude, all right? Proud and rude. So yeah, and and the verse that talks about, I'll go and get that one. It's Revelation 21 and 8. There's a lot of people that are in this little situation, right? This lot, right? It says, but the fearful and the unbelieving and the abominable, all right? Again, if a man lay with another man, it is abomination, right? So, but the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable, anything that's abominable, right? And murderers and whoremongers, one who mongers whores, all right? And, these OnlyFans women, they are whoremongers. They monger themselves, right? And on top of being digital prostitutes, it says, and sorcerers, and idolaters, and all liars shall, this is the it's not the one, but we'll get it anyway, because it still stands. And all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. There's one that mentions the proud. Let's see. Here it is. I got them confused. This is 2 Timothy 3:1-7. Salakia. So, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, that's homosexuals, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, there's another one, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of Yahweh, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. And a lot of it's Jake. All right, a lot of it's Jake. Jake's proud as hell all the time, especially the Jake woman. All right, the N-dub. All right, very, 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 very proud. Right? They think their shit don't stink. Okay. They think their shit don't stink, and it do. Right? But they don't think it does. So let's get Isaiah 2:10. Isaiah 2:10. All right, so here we go. This we're closing out with. So, you want to be prideful. You think you're something. You think you're so big. You think you're so bad. You think the greatest or whatever, right? You deserve to be exalted. You deserve to be put on a pedestal. All right, whether you're a man or a woman, you think you're the shit, right? Isaiah 2:10. Enter into the rock and hide thee in the dust, for fear of the Lord and for the glory of the majesty. This is talking about when Yahushua returns. The lofty looks of man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. For the day of the Lord of hosts shall be upon every one that is proud and lofty, and upon every one that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low, and upon all the cedars of Lebanon that are high and lifted up, and upon all the oaks of Bashan, and upon all the high mountains, and upon all the hills that are lifted up, and upon every high tower, and upon every fenced wall, and upon all the ships of Tarshish, and upon all pleasant pictures, and the loftiness of man shall be bowed down. There's a word you can look up, loftiness, all right, high-mindedness, right? And the loftiness of, loftiness, haughtiness, high-minded, proud, very similar things, right? And the loftiness of man shall be bowed down, and the haughtiness of men shall be made low. And the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. There you go. Yeah, and of course you can continue on. If you want to continue on, I'll finish it up. But that's the big heavy hitter for this lesson. The Lord is the only one being exalted in that day. It says, and the idols he shall utterly abolish, and they shall go into the holes of the rocks. All right, that they're going to try to hide themselves, in bunkers and holes in the actual mountains. It says, and into the caves of the earth, for fear of the Lord and for the glory of his majesty, when he ariseth to shake terribly the earth. In that day a man shall cast his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which they made each one for himself to worship, to the moles and to the bats. And as you've heard, I don't remember if it was Elder Menatazakba that originally said it, or if it was someone else that said it. But talking about, you're going to see, these Arabic people taking off their turbans and just fucking stomping them out on the ground. It says, because they're going to be throwing them to the moles and to the bats. Moles are in the ground, bats are in the air. So they're going to throw them on the ground or throw them into the air, or they'll throw them in the air. And then, they'll fall to the ground, they'll stomp them out, right? Oh, why did you not help me? Why did you not help me, Allah? Why did you not help me? Slakia. But that's how they're going to be doing it. Why do you no help? Because that ain't it, man. All it means is God. Which God? All right, there's only one true and living God, one true and living power, all right? One that actually exists. All right, that's Yahweh and his son Yahweh Shai as well. But that's it, all right? None of these other gods you call upon they're just idols. They're nothing more than what you painted them as or what you sculpted them to be. They don't actually do anything. They're not actually real. They're not actually living. They don't exist. Okay? They're fake. All right? Yahweh and Yahweh Shai exist. Buddha and all these other people, well, technically, I think Buddha was a real person that they just started to worship, but doesn't exist in a godlike capacity, right? It says, to go into the clefts of the rocks and into the tops of the ragged rocks for fear of the Lord and for the glory of his majesty when he ariseth to shake terribly the earth. So there you go. And going back up, I wanted to get verse 17. It says, and the loftiness of man shall be bowed down, Slakia, and the loftiness of man shall be bowed down, and the haughtiness of men shall be made low, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. So it don't matter how good you are. It don't matter if you got the fattest ass. It don't matter if you're the smartest person that you think you are. It doesn't matter if you got super big muscles. All right. It doesn't matter if you're Usain Bolt or whatever. You can you can run really fast. Or who's that other guy? Michael Phelps. All right. You can swim really fast. It don't matter. All right. It doesn't matter if you're Jackie Robinson. You can knock a ball out of the park. It don't matter. It don't matter if you're Patrick Mahomes and you can toss a ball like no tomorrow. It don't matter. It don't matter, man. It don't matter because you're gonna throw a ball, all right, to your salvation. You're gonna hit a home run to your salvation. No. You're gonna swim your way out. You're gonna run your way out. No, you're not. You're gonna need Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So none of these things are really anything to be proud about. Because at the end of the day, they're not gonna get you anything, all right, but destruction, all right, a sore destruction at that. They're not gonna get you anything but destroyed, man. So, be mindful of not taking on a prideful persona, and it's one of those things that's hardful. It's hard, and it's harmful. Okay, it's hard to kind of moderate yourself. All right, but it's harmful. It's a harmful state to be in, to be prideful. Okay. And you got to watch yourself because you don't want to be you can slip into pride really easily, and you can slip into covetousness really easy. Okay, I know because it's something that I got a battle with too. All right, with covetousness, you buy something, and then right after you buy something, you want to buy it again. So you try to put limits on yourself sometimes, man. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. So. I had last week, I wanted to buy this game, and I'm like, you know what, I just keep on, every time I turn on my Xbox, I don't even play the game, I just go on straight on the store, see where I want, a new game, get a new game, or so I got games that I haven't really played, but you get bored of them sometimes, you game like that, but I was like, you know what, I don't need to keep on doing this. I'm gonna not just sit up there and add stuff to the cart and just buy away, and I was like, wait, before Passover, like a couple days before Passover, I believe, I said, you know what? I think it was actually close to my last paycheck. I said, you know what? I'm gonna wait, and if I can get my whole thing is I can wait to get a $60 game, a big game, instead of buying five here, $5 here, $10 here, $12 here, $7 here, $3 here, right? Because they got a lot of sales on the Xbox store. It's all game stores. They got a big sale on Steam going as well. And I'm keeping myself away from that too. Now, like I said, I'm putting myself to the test. I'm setting limits. I'm saying, look, I got to make it to there, and then I can buy that game for $60, right? And then maybe look around on the Steam store and get something there, for the other console or for the PC. But, you got to put limits on yourself because you don't want to get to the point where you're just buying everything. And you got to, and you can't really put limits on pride. Pride, you just have to, it's something that just you can't do outright, okay? You can't try to say, oh, I'm the greatest person ever, but I only say it every other Friday. No, you can't do that. Covetousness happens when you start, want. All right, you sound like a fucking Charlie Brown. Want. All right, it's just want over and over and over and over and over again. So you can put limits on that, all right? But it's with pride, you really just gotta, it's not something you can limit, it's something you gotta eliminate, okay? It's a mindset change. You gotta completely change the mind about, you gotta say, I'm not nothing, I'm nothing important, all right? The Lord made me this way, all right? And call all Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai that I can even do this, all right? You drew you were able to draw something that half the time, man, when I end up drawing something, I don't draw a lot, but I drew something the other day, I was like, I didn't even know it was going to turn out that way. I thought it looked good, but that was the Most High, because I didn't have any plan going into it at all right, at all. So you got to give praise where it's, or you got to praise, but you got to give credit where credit's due, and the credit's not due to us, the credit's due to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. So be mindful, not taking on be mindful to, that's not even correct grammar of, is that correct grammar? Be mindful of not taking on a prideful persona? Be mindful to not take on a prideful persona? Be mindful of not taking on. Now, I don't think that's correct, because then you would not be taking. Be mindful to not take on a pride. I changed it because that wasn't even grammatically correct as I'm looking at it. Be mindful to not take on a prideful persona, right? So be mindful to not take on a prideful persona, because that's not something you want to do. You don't want to start being proud. Oh, I do this. I can do that. I can break down this better than anyone can break it down. Don't do that, all right? Because Lord, if you start doing that, especially in this truth, I can break that down better than anybody. Lord can take that spirit off you, right, like that, all right? And it's the feast of unleavened bread and all that right now. So it's a time of sifting too right now. So you could get that that spirit pulled right off of you, and you go, oh, what? The breakdown of what, man? Oh man, it was on the tip of my tongue. What was it? Why can't I remember anymore? Man, I'm not really feeling this Hebrew Israelite stuff anymore. And then you're out, all right? And you won't even suspect it coming. It'll roll right up on you and sneak. And then you're not, some of that happens too. They're not going to have the thoughts, am I falling out? They don't have that thought. Am I bugging out? Am I a bug out? Those aren't thoughts that people that are falling out and bugging out have. Maybe that needs to be heard, because, some people will be like, what if I bug out? What if I bug out? Well, you must not be bugging out right now, because you're being mindful of it. All right? A person that's bugging out doesn't think they're bugging out. They don't know they're bugging out. They just fucking bug out. And then everybody's making fun of them on a comment board, and they're like, what? You guys are rude. You guys are mean. You don't even understand. Like, this guy's bugging out. I'm not bugging out. Yes, you are. You're right. You're not bugging out. You bugged out. All right? It's previous, past tense. All right? Anyway, it's dove hour, so let me stop. I'm going to roll this up. As Apostle Dahar always says, dove hour. I'm just being goofy at this point. So I'm going to close out of it. So be mindful to not take on a prideful persona. It's not something you want to do. Because Lord will get your ass back for doing something like that. Because, hey, all praise, honor, and glory goes to the Most High, not yourself for something you did, when the Most High was the one who gave you those traits. So, I'm going to close out. Lord, this lesson was edifying. Again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Akakwadash. I want to say shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith. Hey, be mindful. All right, until the next one, Lord willing, shalom.